What's up, guys? We are back with another Masters of the Universe Origins review, taking a look at the most recent set of deluxe figures. We're taking a look at Flying Fist He-Man and his counterpart, of course, Terror Claws Skeletor. I've really been looking forward to these, mostly because I really like Terror Claws Skeletor, so I'm pretty excited for him in particular. These guys, of course, come on these sort of oversized card back that we see for all the deluxe stuff. So you've got a larger shot of like the lava burst patterning. You've got a shot of the character on the front itself. Figures, of course, in the bubble. And then the back of the packages has a nice spread of artwork showcasing the figures kind of locked in battle in front of Eternia, the playset anyway. You get that vintage sort of instruction artwork, and then you get cross-sell. Now, what's really cool about these, though, is that they actually make a complete picture. So the two of them, when they're together, they make all of the good guys and the bad guys locked in battle in front of what is essentially the Eternia playset, which I thought was pretty cool. And again, you know, I just in general love the artwork associated with this line. So let's do it. Let's pull them out and take a look. And here we go, out of the package. Flying Fist He-Man, Terror Claws Skeletor, two very much counterpart kind of figures when it comes to MOTU. So we've got very much the same kind of thing going on here. Goofy weapons for both, vac metal, and action features in this line. So I'm really excited for these guys just because they kind of offer something a little bit different when it comes to this line. And I do really like Terror Claws Skeletor. Just the absurdity of his weapons alone are worth it for me. I will say, however, before we really get into this particular example of Skeletor, not the greatest. I've got issues with my vac metal, with the belt paint, and some of the face paint too. He kind of janky when it comes to the paint. He's still a lot of fun, don't get me wrong, and your mileage, of course, is going to vary on that. But I do have a little bit more of a pristine He-Man to go along with him. So let's take a look. Let's take a look at He-Man first, just to use him as our example when it comes to articulation, and then we'll talk about how these guys look. So they are still very similar to Origins in general, but they are not the same overall. So you've got your head, you know, swivel. You've got a little bit of up and down depending on, you know, where you want to go. So they do have just a ball peg up there. Swappable parts to some degree, but again, because of how these guys are built, not the same exactly. Arms will go out at the shoulders, and they're going to rotate, but they're ratcheted because of the action feature, and it's super loud. You do have your single jointed rotating elbow. You've got hinges and rotation at your wrist, of course. You've got waist rotation, but it's tied to the action feature, so it doesn't really rotate. It's part of the play feature. Legs go out, basically almost splits. Kick forward a little bit, kick backwards slightly. Nothing at the thigh or anything like that. We've got our single jointed rotating knee. We've got a boot cut, and then you've got rocker and hinges down at those ankles, you know, pretty normal. Again, very, very normal when it comes to articulation in general. However, action feature. So you hold on to his legs, swivel him at the waist, and the arms will move. So this is why they also cannot swap all their parts, because of the torso. So the torsos are a harder plastic. They are vac metalized, so the connection point is different here. It's not the same. It's not the same construction, really. So these do not just pop out. You know, I'm pulling on this, and it's not just going to come out. So as a result, they're able to give us an action feature. So you've got this guy here on the back. Both figures do the same thing, and you can swivel, and they can bash and thrash and beat the hell out of each other. And I really like it. Like I've been messing with both of these figures pretty much all day before filming this, just goofing around with that because it's so ridiculous, especially because they have such crazy weapons. So very, very normal figures outside of the fact that they do have some changes because of that action feature, but your limbs in general, your head, your legs, your feet, all that stuff, standard Origins. Now aesthetically, this is of course a big thing for these figures because they have vac metal, and that's, you know, ultimately in many ways what I'm drawn to with these figures. He-Man is a little bit, he's not as crazy looking as Skeletor, so this is still very much like a He-Man with some armor on him, and I'm fine with that. Like, it looks great. I'm really happy with it. It's still very much Flying Fist He-Man. You know, you've got the doodad sticking out of his back. But the big deal is of course the vac metal, and it's really nice on him. I think it looks really fantastic. The silver is just super shiny, and that gold looks great, and the red H. It's a big nostalgia hit to see a big, you know, vac metalized torso like this, and I think he looks pretty awesome. You know, that's ultimately the big thing for these figures is this vac metal. Outside, of course, again, you know, the really goofy weapons. It's their construction, and it's their action features, and it's this super chromed out chest. So I'm really happy with my He-Man. I think he looks really good overall. You know, like I said, he fared a little bit better in the QC department than Skeletor does, and we'll talk about him here in a second. But he does look really nice. And then of course you do, as far as your default loadout when it comes to this guy, you do get like the vintagey style head up there, which looks okay. You know, that yellow hair is super bright. It's like highlighter yellow, and then you've got, you know, just sort of slight paint applications on the face, so just a little black for the eyes and the eyebrow, and a little bit of white to fill out that smirk on the mouth. But he does look good overall. Now, this guy is really the star of the show for me, you know, and this is just my own personal bias coming in, really, because I really like Terror Claw Skeletor. I love the stupid metallic bra that he wears, basically, and I like his accessories. I will say again, you know, I have some issues with my paint. Like, I've got this swipe right here. It's really hard to pick up at times. You can, you know, you'll see it right now, I think, where like the paint didn't take or got smudged. So there's just a little stripe of silver on his chest, because the entire torso is vac metal. The blue is painted on the flesh, whatever his meat is supposed to be. And then you've got your sort of violet pink bra with the skull in there. But I do have a paint flub there. I've got some splotchiness on the belt. Like there, you can almost see through to the black on underneath, so that's really spotty. And then there's something about his face that I think is a little bit askew on the paint. I think it's really slight, but he looks a little bit off. Maybe I'm being a little bit too hard on this particular figure because I really like this character. Well, this version of Skeletor rather. But I do think this head is maybe a little bit wonky. It could just be the expression I'm not a big fan of. I do prefer the other head that he comes with anyway, so we'll be talking about that here shortly. Again, this version of the figure does have an action feature, so you can get him to do the twist, which I love it. I think it's so stupid. It's really stupid. Like, that's what it is. It's really stupid just to goof around with this all day. But I've really just been playing with that action feature way too much before filming this. So this particular figure does have some issues. You know, it's kind of hard to not mention them. So you've got a swipe there, you've got a swipe there. Maybe I'm not correct about the face, but something about it looks a little weird. He is very happy to be able to do this. You know, he's got that skeleton smile going. But the vac metal, you know, otherwise is nicely done. Like, I can't stress that enough. It is very cool to see that on a figure these days. Again, it does change how these guys are built and what they are capable of. They're still very close to normal, but it does make him a little bit less posable. Otherwise, though, I think he does look pretty decent, outside of the fact that my particular example does have some QC problems, but, you know, if yours doesn't, then he's going to look even better. Now, as far as accessories goes, you know, I've said it enough. This is a big area for me. It's a huge part of what makes these guys what they are. He-Man has the most ridiculous weapon ever. Skeletor has some not quite as ridiculous, but just really weird accessories. But it's very much their thing. So you can see them both here, and they both have weapons that kind of, you know, play up the idea of them having action features. So, you know, He-Man's got this pretty ridiculous shield, which is, again, vac metalized. So you've got the outer shield that spins, and you've got the inner shield that is a normal shield, because sure, why not? And then he's got this goofy thing. Like, this is still one of the most ridiculous accessories. So let's move Skeletor back, and, you know, you can do this number with him, because that's what you do. You bash somebody with a shield, you hit him with these ball things, and you can see, you know, of course, it makes him spin, it makes him move, the kids go wild, everybody loves it. It's weird, it's wacky, and it is the most ridiculous thing. Like, they're just so weird, but they work. They work so well. Like, it really does work. It's fun to play around with. As stupid as that may sound, it's fun to play around with. And again, lots of vac metal. You can't go wrong there. We do get some other, you know, quote-unquote normal accessories. You get an extra hand for He-Man, so you get a left gripping hand. And then you get the sort of windswept, open-mouth screaming, yelling head, which is okay. It's not my preferred head. I don't know that I'm going to use it for this particular figure. Probably go, you know, with our more classic head. Something about this one just kind of seems off to me in many ways, so I tend to not use it. And then we've got Skeletor here with the, you know, titular terror claws. So, you know, you do one of these, get his hands up, and then you whack, and you whack He-Man, and you bash him. And these things, I mean, just look at them. They're oversized claw glove things. They're ridiculous, but they really work. I mean, it sounds like some stupid thing that Skeletor would come up with to fight He-Man. He does, of course, get another accessory. So the weird dragon bitey guy. So this thing goes on the back. Kind of get it in there. There we go. I think I clipped it in way too hard. And he holds it, and then you can do one of these. And you can bash He-Man with a dragon. This thing's weird. I mean, it's just another weird accessory. It's a big robot cyber dragon dinosaur head thing. Mouth is painted inside, so that's kind of cool. And again, really stupid, but it works really well in conjunction with this play feature, the action feature, so I do like that. And then he does come with an extra head sculpt, so you get, you know, this kind of like really maniacal looking head, mouth open, eyes super, super wide. Like, he looks insanely happy to be playing with this stuff. And then we get, he gets the hand treatment as well, so you get another left gripping hand for Skeletor. And you get the Havoc Staff as well. So, of course, you know, he gets his normal standard weapon when it comes to this set. And that reminds me that I did forget one of He-Man's accessories. So he doesn't just have this stuff. He also gets the standard power sword. Because, of course, Skeletor gets his and their counterparts. He gets the power sword. You know, kind of metallic-y gray, but it's a full sword, not a halvesy. So these guys are pretty stacked. I mean, when you think about what they come with as far as, you know, being deluxe figures, they do have a higher price point, but they come with multiple accessories, multiple heads, and they get extra hands. So I do think we are getting quite a bit when it comes to this particular deluxe set. So yeah, overall, really happy with this set of deluxe figures. There's a lot to these, and that's really what it comes down to. Vac metal, lots of accessories, crazy accessories. You know, you can't say it enough. There's a lot of crazy accessories when it comes to these two figures. They're just weird. And then, of course, action features, and I really like the action features on these guys. It does take away some articulation, but it just ratchets up their fun factor for me, because honestly, I've said it a few times, I played with these figures a lot just screwing around with that action feature. It's goofy, it's fun. Granted, my Skeletor does have some QC issues that I would definitely prefer not be there, but it's also not ruining this figure by any means. Would I like him to have a flawless vac metal chest? Yes, I would, but otherwise, he is still a really fun figure, and if yours doesn't have that problem, then you already are on better footing than I am. So that's going to do it for this look at the Masters of the Universe Origins, Terror Claw Skeletor, and Flying Fist He-Man. Let me know what you guys think. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and until next time.